Welcome back. This week, we've been diving deep into the important issue of education with the founder of Harlem Village Academies, Dr. Deborah Kenny. She's out with a new book titled The Well-Educated Child: How the Principles and Practices of Quality Thinking, Agency, and Ethical Purpose Cultivate Deeper Learning. And in it, Deeper Learning, I will note. And in it, Dr. Kenny argues that children are capable of much more than schools are currently providing them. It's a timely topic, as a Gallup survey found a record low 35% of Americans are satisfied with the quality of K-12 schools in the country today. And Dr. Kenny joins us now. Thank you. Good to see you again this week. So with that poll reflecting just how deeply dissatisfied Americans are with the state of education, can you point to one or two reasons for hope?
Oh, one or two reasons for hope. That's interesting. Well, teachers are a big reason for hope. The future, I think, is going to be determined by what happened during COVID, because everybody got a glimpse into what was happening in schools and realized, for one thing, there was too much technology. People saw it and are realizing that Chromebooks are not as good as notebooks. And so I think that's going to shift technology. And secondly, people saw how social emotional learning and the anxiety that kids were feeling was a real thing, and are paying more attention to that. And then finally, and I think most importantly, people saw that children are not being challenged enough, that the work is not, and worksheets and PowerPoint presentations are not the way to teach. And so I think the collective awareness and the national dialogue is focused more on kids are capable of so much more. Let's have them write a full research paper over the course of the year, not fill in little one-paragraph answers that are required by standardized tests.
Doctor,
Deborah.
as Rob calling you Dr. Deborah, I think that with you having been a founder of Harlem Village Academies, talk about how it is significant, and I'm sure you've dealt with some of that in the book, that you can't write off certain areas, certain races, certain backgrounds, even classes, in terms of who can be educated if there is the proper educational tools and environment there. It will work anywhere in the country. And because there was a whole generation that kind of wrote some people off, you just can't bring them to a certain level. Yeah. And I think your work and your writings have kind of proven that not to be the case.
Well, it's interesting you ask that, Rev. You know, last night I was telling the story of one of our students who came to us. This was when I was the first school principal, and her mom said, and she was coming in 5th grade, and she said, "Can you please take care of my baby? I'm so worried because the school that we came from said we shouldn't expect her to graduate high school. We should be realistic." And I said, "The school told you that? You know, well, she's special ed. They said we should be realistic." I said, "No, of course she will graduate." And this young lady, her mom ended up dying of breast cancer in 9th grade. She, of course, graduated, and now she's following her calling and working in a hospital in New York City in the breast cancer division and fulfilling her life's purpose. And these kids have all the potential in the world.
Dr. Deborah.
New thing.
Sorry, this is our new thing here. I wonder, you know, as someone who is really concerned about technology in the classroom, because I think that it's very distracting. I'm curious what you think a tech-safe classroom would look like.
Okay, what do you mean tech-safe?
Well, I mean a classroom where teaching is job one, but technology, you know, what does it look like? Does it look like no technology? Does it look like a little bit? Does it look like no phones during the day? I mean, what does it look like to you?
Okay, so definitely no phones in school. I think no phones, period. But the way to answer that question is to start at the end. What are we trying to accomplish at the end? And then work backwards from there to design the protocols and the policies. What we want in the end is quality thinking from students and deep, rigorous, challenging, meaningful work that they're doing. Okay, so now we work backwards from there and say, therefore, what do you want in the classroom? What I have found, both for students and teachers, is that technology really undermines that goal. You know, there's something about being on a computer. The little kids want to, you know, play with it and press the buttons, and the teachers, it can distract from them taking a couple of minutes to think deeply about the quality of the question they're going to ask and how that will elicit the kind of thinking they want from the student, whether it's analysis or some other higher order thinking skill, and instead figuring out how to put together their presentation. When you put together a presentation, here's a perfect example. The teacher is the one doing this, the research, the synthesis, the analysis. They're on the computer doing all that work. That's the work we want the kids to do, right? So we are a notebook school. I mean, we are old school low tech.
All right, no phones in schools could not support that anymore. The new book, The Well-Educated Child, is out now.